Hello, children. My name is Wendy Joy, and I'm here to tell you a story. Today's story is called Big Brother Ivan. This story is about a little boy. His name is Ivan, and he's 3 years old. He has a sister named Alaska, and she's maybe 6 months old. And they live in Florida. They have a pool in their yard, and they go swimming every day. The story starts in the living room, and Ivan is in the living room running around in circles around the table, and his sister Alaska is starting to crawl, and she's following him. And he's laughing because he's like, "You can't catch me, you can't catch me." And, Alaska still keeps trying to catch Ivan, and, at one point she tries to, swim across the floor because her knees weren't moving fast enough. And Ivan came back and he said to her, "Oh, don't worry, Miss Alaska." He said, "I will help you. I'm your big brother." So he got down on the floor and he like on his knees, and he tried to lift his sister to a standing position. The table was right there, so he slipped up, crept up onto the table and put his butt so that he could pick his sister up, because she was just his size almost. She was a tall little girl. And Ivan and her stood up, and she stood for a minute, but then her knees went out and she fell on her hiney, and she looked like she was going to cry. And Ivan said, "Oh no, sissy, don't cry, don't cry. I'm your big brother. I'm here to help you." So he went real quick over to the couch, and he found her favorite dolly. And he brought it over to her, and he said, "Here, Miss," he said, "you have your dolly, and that'll make you feel better. And don't worry, we won't try to run right now." He said, "I remember I was little like you once, and it took a long time for me to learn how to do things. But then one day I was big enough and I just did everything." He said, "Your day's gonna come." He said, "But until then," he said, "I won't run around and make you chase me. I'll sit on the floor and play with you." And Alaska smiled, dropped her dolly, and crawled over next to her brother, and climbed up on his body, and then held onto his shirt real tight, and then stood as best as she could. And her legs gave out, and she fell down right into Ivan's lap. And Ivan gave her a great big huge hug and said, "Oh, sissy, I love you too." And they started giggling and laughing. And then Mom came into the room, and she's like, "What are you guys doing? I hear all this laughter." And Ivan said, "I'm being a big brother, Mommy." And she said, "Oh, you are?" And he said, "Yes, I am." And she said, "Well, I was wondering if you guys wanted to go swimming in the pool." And Ivan said, "Yes, yes, yes." And Alaska put her arms up, "Pick me up, pick me up, pick me up." So Mom grabbed Alaska, and Ivan said, "Don't worry, Mom. I'm a big brother, and I'll go get the swimmies." So Mommy said, "Okay." So Ivan went over to the closet, and he got the swimmies. He got 2 arm swimmies for him and 2 arm swimmies for his sister. And then he looked into the back of the closet and said, "Oh, wait, Mommy, we need the flour." And she said, "Okay, bring the flour." So he dragged the flour out of the closet. And the flour wasn't just a flour. It was an inflatable raft type device that you could put in the pool, and Alaska can sit in it. So she could splash her legs in the water, and she could still splash her hands over the other side of it. So they went over to the pool, and Mommy put the swimmies on, Alaska, and then put the swimmies on Ivan, and then went through the gate because the pool was inside of a gate. And then Mommy said, "You wait for me, you don't go by yourself." And Ivan said, "Even though I'm a big brother, Mom," and she said, "I'm still the mom, and I still go first." So Ivan said, okay. Then I go second. And she said, no, we're going to let Alaska go second, and then we're going to let you go last. And he said, why? And she said, because big brothers make sure that their little sisters are safe and okay before they go and have fun or play or to work or to whatever. And Ivan said, okay, Daddy does that. And Mommy said, yes, Daddy does do that. He makes sure that we're okay before he goes to work. So Ivan said, understood, Mom. Mom started laughing just like that. So she put Alaska in the flour, and she was, splashing around in the water. And then she grabbed Ivan, and then she put Ivan in the pool, and he's holding on to the side, and, he's kicking his legs because he's learning how to swim. He's learning how to do doggy paddle. And he was so super determined to learn how to do that because he wanted to be a good big brother and teach his sister how to swim. And when Mom wasn't looking, she had her back to Ivan for just a moment. Ivan let go of the side of the pool, and he swam over doing the doggy paddle, kicking his feet and moving his hands in the water until he got over to Mommy. And he was like, Mommy, Mommy, Mommy. And Mommy turned around and was like, Ivan, you swam over to Mommy. And he said, yes, I did, because I'm a big boy and I'm going to be a good big brother. And Alaska said, and Mommy started smiling, and she was like, you know what? I love both of you. You are great children. And Ivan said, I'm not a child. I'm a big brother. And Mom smiled and said, yes, you are. You are definitely a big brother. And they continued to play in the pool, and they had fun the rest of the afternoon. And everywhere that Ivan went, he made sure that if Alaska was following, that he was slow so she could keep up. Or if she was trying to stand, he was there to help her so that she didn't fall. And if she did fall, he was going to be there to bring her dolly and give her a great big hug and offer tons and tons of encouragement. Because sometimes learning how to walk could be a very painful thing on the hiney, And Ivan knew that because he once learned how to walk and he remembers falling. So he wanted to be a big brother to his sister and help her so that she didn't go through the same struggles as he did. Well, that's the end of my story. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good day, boys.